Hello everybody, my name is James Everett of The Good, The Meh, and The Ugly, and this is my spoiler-free review of Wonka. This prequel tells the story of Willy Wonka and how he became a great chocolatier, and how he fought off the chocolate cartel, and met some other people along the way. My overall thoughts for this movie was, it was surprisingly really good. I had a great time with it. It's very charming, very whimsical. It feels similar to the Gene Wilder movie, but it does its own thing, and it's just a lot of fun. I really do enjoy it. So here's the good. What I really did like about the movie, what I had a great time with. The central casting for Wonka, who is played by Timothée Chalamet, is super fitting, and he does a great job. I really like him in it. He has the same kind of energy as like a Gene Wilder, but like more optimistic. But he doesn't just do that. He does so many other things, and there's such like a range of emotions from comedy, and there's some really great emotional bits with him in it too. He just does so well, and I think I was really impressed. He also does great vocals for like the musical aspects, which I did not expect, but speaking of the musical aspects, the musical numbers and aspects were really good. The songs were fun and catchy. The lyrics were memorable. You wouldn't think of like this to be like a musical that's like really good, but it was just fun. All the songs were just fit so well together. They weren't too overly spaced out. They weren't too close together. It just worked really well as a musical. So here's the meh, what I thought was just indifferent to. I think it's a little long in some parts and could be trimmed down, but it's never too noticeable. You're never like thinking this is a 3.5 hour Martin Scorsese epic. You're just like thinking this is a little long, could be shortened just a little bit. But again, never too noticeable, never too glaring. But I wish some scenes could have been shortened or just maybe even taken out some scenes, but really not a huge problem. And then some story beats with the Oompa Loompa, or some side characters with the way Willy Wonka gets into the place he's at the beginning of the movie feel really goofy and silly and almost like Looney Tunes-esque how bonkers and off the wall they are. Which if the film is overall going for a goofy and whimsical vibe, but it doesn't really need to have that for every other super goofy scene, which it doesn't, but when it does really lean into that goofiness, you're just kind of like sitting there watching the movie and you're just like chuckling to yourself how like weird this is or how like out of pocket some of these scenes are, which is like, it's totally fine for a movie to be goofy, but this took it like a little far. And here's the ugly, what I didn't like or I was unfortunately disappointed by. I think it's way too visual effects heavy for its own good. As this is a prequel to the Gene Wilder movie from the 70s, where that movie, it looks so unique with the practical effects and the sets are just beautiful. You can't really compare it to anything other than itself. Where this movie, it feels such a far cry from that. They're just disappointed and feel like, I wish they did more practical effects, because sometimes every other set piece is just big CGI and green screen where it doesn't really need to be, but you can have some other aspects of the movie where it's a set, or you can have some of the character moments with like one of the Oompa Loompas to be makeup and hairstyling, where, you know, the original does that so flawlessly. This feels just like just crashing and burning from that aspect of the first movie. Some of the supporting characters feel very underused, or they don't even really feel like supporting characters. They feel like extras with like a ton of dialogue. You want to see them more developed, or you want to see their story play out when you never really get to. And that's kind of sad, because if you do like these characters and you think they're fun, you want to see more of them. And unfortunately for some of the side characters, you really don't get to. But overall, again, the movie is surprisingly really good. I would give it an 8 out of 10, and I would definitely recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.